Choppin' it up with Ramel. Choppin' it up with Ramel. Choppin' it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Choppin' it up with Ramel. Choppin' it up with Ramel. Choppin' it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Choppin' it up with Ramel. Well, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Choppin' It Up with Ramel. Remember, no notes, straight from the throat. Well, we're going to talk a little NBA, talk a little NFL, but more importantly, I'm going to have a special guest on the show. On this Throwback Thursday, I pay homage to a rapper, Biggie Small, my second best rapper of all time, my favorite second best rapper of all time, behind Nas. But speaking of rappers, that's a good segue because I'm going to have a guest that'll appear on the show today. Hopefully you get a chance to call in a young rapper by the name of DMT that is on the verge of doing big things. So look for him to call in sometime during the show. But as I said, we're going to talk about the NBA and the NFL. First, let's start with the NFL. Today is Thursday Night Football. You got Dallas going into Minnesota. The last time we saw Dallas, they had a good game against Washington where they gave up 449 yards to Kirk Cousins on Thanksgiving Day, but prevailed for a good win. Minnesota, which I think is on the brink of really being officially eliminated. So we'll see how that plays out. I really think that they're done for the season. If there's any chance to salvage the season, it will take place in this game. A home game, Dallas on the road, a must-win for Minnesota. But quite frankly, guys, I just don't see it. I think Dallas continues their onslaught. I think Dallas will win their 11th in a row. And quite frankly, I think it'll be relatively easy. I think that the Dallas Cowboys will win by at least 10, 14 points, if not more. Right now, the Cowboy train is just rolling along. It's only getting better. The chemistry is getting stronger. Everybody knows their place, stays in their lane. The defense is becoming more and more confident. I don't see it happening. I don't see Minnesota at all getting in the way of Dallas as Dallas continues to surge. I think Dallas will probably finish 14-2. If not 15-1, and I think they will have home field advantage throughout the NFC. And the road to the Super Bowl is going through Dallas. Plain and simple, the road through the Super Bowl is going through Dallas. I'm not going to say that Dallas is going to represent the NFC at this point. I mean, you still have a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back. They don't quite play like one, but they are. And with that said, I really think that they can be challenged with maybe a Seattle team or possibly even a high-flying offense like Atlanta, but it remains to be seen. At this point here, Cowboys will remain the favorite, especially if they have home field advantage all the way through the playoffs. So that's something to look out for, but I just don't see Minnesota getting it done, although this is definitely a must-win for this Minnesota Viking team. Remember, they came out the gate on fire. I mean, it just looked like they were world beaters. And all of a sudden, the bottom just fell out. Again, North Turner resigns unexpectedly somewhere near the 5th or 6th week of the season. Unbelievable turn of events there. So, again, this should be something to look out for. And we go from there. We have a caller. Who's on the line?
It's your boy DMT. How you doing, Troy?
DMT, what's going on, man? Glad to have you aboard, man. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I can't complain.
Hey,
How's everybody going?
everything is good, man. Just kicked off the show. I had mentioned that there was a possibility that you call in to the viewers out there. I got an upcoming rapper by the name of DMT on the line. DMT, tell me who you representing, where you from?
I'm from Detroit. I reside in Atlanta. I represent the D-Town all day.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man.
Listen, tell me something, man. I know you got some songs, some music out there right now that I like and doing well for you, and some circus out there. Tell me, man, how long you been in the game, man?
Yeah, I've been rapping since I was 12. I started out in the church, and I was rapping at different open mics around the city, different schools, and it just took off from there.
Wow, man. And so you started rapping in the church. Yeah, I'm going to say something, man. I've been a fan of rap for years, man. I mean, years. And, yeah, you got to be the first rapper that I've come across to say they started rapping in the church, man. I guess that's what makes you original, man.
I like that, you know, and one of the things that separates me, man, is I just keep it real. I keep it 100, and I gotta let the people know the truth, you know, because that one you can't stray from, you know.
Hey,
they know the best, you know.
I truly understand, man. Hey, has there been any accolades or any awards or anything that you've won, or maybe anything that we might have seen you on before, or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, in 2011, I won the BET Awards Next Big Music Star.
Oh, really?
And also, I actually performed on the pre-show, the BET Awards, and also won the 106 Park Blaze the stage. So I went out to New York City, rocked the stage. It was actually two winners from Detroit, and I'm glad I was able to be one of them. So, I mean, I had a few accomplishments, man. I'm still going. I need to get this Grammy.
Wow, man. Hey, listen, man, quite a resume, man. You know, quite a resume. So are you working on any upcoming projects that we can look out for, or is there anything in the fold?
Yeah, actually, I got a project coming out the first quarter next year. I should be putting out. I just dropped a project October 13th called Perseverance. You'll be able to pick that up on any digital outlet, Pandora, Spotify, Rhapsody, Amazon. You just type in DMT the Rapper. Got something else coming out for the people, so man, it's going to be a little different. A little bit of pop music on there as well. I'm just trying to, give everybody a little taste of, what they like. So I'm going to be coming out first quarter of 2017.
All right, we'll be sure to look out for that, man. You know, this is a sports show, but we welcome everybody, man. So I know you say you reside in Atlanta and you're from the D. Man, is there a sports team that you like or follow more than any other?
Oh, of course. The Pistons all day.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hey, they got a nice little young team, and they're growing in the right direction. Hopefully some big things can come from that.
Yeah, hopefully some big things can come from the Lions as well, because I know they've been trying to do their thing lately, man. But other than that, no matter how good or how bad anybody's doing in the team, man, we always going to support them. So
Hey,
that's my teams right there, Lions and Pistons.
I understand, man. That's how I feel about my Knicks and the Mets and the Jets, and it can't be no worse than them, man. I'm telling you, man. So I understand. Fan is short for fanatic. So I get it, man. Hey, listen, with all this controversy about Kevin Durant joining Golden State, man, let me ask you something. Cleveland's the defending champion. Do you think with Kevin Durant joining Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, you think they can knock off Cleveland this year if they meet again?
I think so. I think they got to put their heads together, man. I think one of the greatest things is not having somebody trying to hold on to stardom themselves. If they divide it up and work as a team and move as a unit, I think they'll take it over. So.
All right, well, that's interesting right there, man. That's good. I'd love to hear your perspective, man. Before you go, because I'm sure you probably got other things on the agenda for the day, but I got to ask you, man, your style of rap, man, I mean, I'm familiar with your music, and I like what you put out there, man, and I like your game. I like everything about you, man. But tell me, man, whether they're active, retired, or playing today, man, what athlete would you compare your style of rap to who's playing the game or who retired, man? I'm just curious.
Oh, that'd be a good one. I probably would say a man Steph Curry.
Oh, okay. That's a great choice. You heard it from. You heard it from DMT himself. The devastating microphone trendsetter. Don't get no better. Spit more words than the average letter. Yeah, he said.
I like that. He's showing me out on here. I'm going to have to get you on the track, man.
Hey, been there, done that.
I like that.
But yeah, Steph Curry being one of the better players in the game, man, having that confidence to compare yourself to that, man, And you know what, man? You have all the fundamentals and you have the oohs and ahs. I've heard your music, man, and it's not just because you're a friend, man, but I think your music speaks for itself, man. And when you say that you are similar to a Steph Curry, man, I'm just going to applaud you, man, because I think your music is worth hearing, and I think it's what we need to hear today on the radio, man. So from me to you, my man, I'm just going to say, man, continuous success and happy blessings to you and yours, and nothing but all the best, man. And don't be a stranger, man. Come out on the show. Come on the show again, and let us know where we can find your music, man, to the fans out there.
Most certainly will. You can type me in on Google. You'll have all the outlets on there. It's DMT the Rapper. If you wanted to, make sure you'll have my station on Pandora. It's DMT the Rapper, or even on Spotify, Apple Music. You can go on Reverb Nation. I'm on Spinrilla, Audio Mac. I'm on all the digital outlets. You just type me in, and we're going to rock and roll with it.
All right.
I appreciate you having me on the show, Troy.
Hey, my pleasure, man. Come again. Hey, my man DMT, man. Yeah, there you go. The next big thing coming up, man. Let's wish him all the best, right, man. Hey, yo, peace out, DMT.
All right.
One. And there you have it, man. My first guest star. A nice young man coming up in the rap game, man. As you heard from himself, he's been around since he's 12 years old, won a couple of awards, whether it was BET, performing on 106 in Park, man. Got a project out now, working on a new project. Got his music playing in some of the clubs around the Atlanta area. You know what I mean? He's out here in Atlanta trying to make it happen, do his thing. But don't forget his roots because, yeah, he remembers the Detroit, that is. And here's a funny thing about the kid, man. I met him about 4 years ago, man, and we've clicked ever since. And this is something y'all don't know about me. And I'll say this, man. Yeah, I've learned because I was raised in New York, but I was actually born in Detroit, Michigan. But I don't know nothing about Detroit, Michigan, other than I was born at Henry Ford Hospital, and so was he, man. And ever since then, we've been clicking, man. Nice young guy. All the best, DMT. All the best. Now getting back to the sports world. Woo, man. So last night, I was talking about the NFL. We're going to go into the NBA. I have to start in OKC. It was a homecoming of sorts for Scott Brooks, bringing over the Washington Wizards. And man, oh man, did they run into Russell Westbrook. Just like everybody else has. Just like everybody else has, man. This guy, as we speak, is currently averaging a triple-double 19 games into the season. I just find that phenomenal. I've never seen anything like that. I really haven't. I haven't seen anything like that before. I've only read about it with Oscar Robertson. Hey, listen, I got somebody saying Klay Thompson dropped off dramatically since Durant. Is this a good or a bad thing? I say bad because there's not enough basketball to go around. That's my man Joe Magdusian viewing the show all the way from the UK. Listen, I'm going to get off of Westbrook for a minute to respond to the inbox here, the comment. Listen, right now the trio of Golden State is averaging all 20-plus points apiece. That's what Klay has always averaged, about 21 a game. So that hasn't changed. The one who's going to drop off a little bit and he's not going to mind, that's going to be Draymond Green. Draymond Green is going to be like a point guard Dennis Rodman. He's going to want to just do the dirty work, grab the rebounds, and unlike Rodman, who didn't really score in the assist category, but he's going to take advantage of the assist. I think Klay Thompson still gets his shots, gets his opportunity. He's still going to average 20 points a game. I don't think there's a drop-off on Klay. If you want to make a statement about Klay, maybe his numbers don't increase from last year or go up, but I think his number stays the same. I think he averages 20-plus points a game. And here's the thing. He may not get as many shots, but then again, he's so efficient with his shot that all he needs is about 14 shots, and he can get 20 points just like that. So, good comment. Keep them coming. And keep tuning in. And that's my man Joe Magdusian from the UK. All right. Now, as I was saying about Westbrook, man, listen. This guy's doing what he wants. He's got 8 triple-doubles on the season. He had 35, 14, and 11 last night. I mean, this is just the norm for him, man. And you know, the thing about it is that he trusts his teammates. And his teammates, most of them are not going to be starters on most teams, man. And the thing about it is that to have double digits in assists every night, the thing about it is that he's trusting his teammates and putting them in a position to have better or easier opportunities. Hey, I want to shout out my sister. She's tuning in. She inboxed, great show. I love you, sis. Keep tuning in. I really appreciate your support. You're always checking out my shows and making comments and giving me ideas and so forth. So I love you. Thanks for the support. But at the same time, Westbrook is putting these players in a position that makes the game easier for everybody, where all they have to do is execute. I mean, you think about Adams. I mean, everybody will want Adams, but he's not really a great offensive player. Sabonis is a rookie. Andre Robertson has not been known for his scoring. Oladipo, I said it before, if he was where he needs to be or have reached his potential, Orlando would never have traded him. And Oladipo, the funny thing about it, he has signs of Westbrook, and the bench, who comes off the bench? Can we name a few people? I mean, it's just one of those things that he's making the game easier for his teammates around him. I mean, every night, triple doubles, man. Triple doubles galore. I mean, this man, he's MVP already. It's a quarter of the season. No one is even challenging him, man. No one is even challenging him, man. This guy, Russell Westbrook, man, I saw a post-game interview, man. He said he just can't stop. He won't stop, man. And you know what, man? He's not going to stop, man. I don't even think an injury would sit him down. You know what? This is one guy I can honestly say that you will probably never read that Westbrook didn't play because of rest. You would have to lock him in a closet and tie his sneakers together and blindfold him, because he's going to make his way to the court and play every night as long as he's healthy or not. This guy is going to play. And you got to respect this guy, man. He took on the challenge of taking this team once Kevin Durant decided to do what he does. And some people, they thought, yeah, he's going to go out there and try to prove something. I think they didn't see this Westbrook. They thought they was going to see the Westbrook that was going to go and shoot a lot, maybe like an Iverson. Well, you know what? He's playing like Iverson, but more. Because, this guy is getting up there and rebounding the ball. I've seen him on the foul line get an offensive rebound tip in. I mean, this guy's doing it all, man. He's doing it all. And what we're watching is something that is probably once in a generation, man. Yeah, what he's doing is phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. And no doubt in my mind, I believe he's the guy that can keep this pressure up or keep this going and whole season. I don't see him slowing down whatsoever, man. Yeah, I'm glad as a Knicks fan, we only get him twice. Because 4 times would be too much, man. This guy's a handful. When I say a handful, he's a handful, man. All the best to this guy, man. I wish he was a Knick. I really do, man. I really do. Moving along in association, man. Before I get to my Knicks, man, I got to talk about the Lakers and the Bulls last night, man. I think the Bulls is going to be a playoff team. I think they're a top 4 team in the East, man. But again, I can't say enough about these little Lakers led by Luke that went on the road to Chicago shorthanded and came away with the victory on the road, man. I just can't say enough. They scored like 96 points, whatever the case was. The bench came up with 56 points. I've said it before. They're the number 1 scoring bench in the league. Between Lou Williams and Jordan Clarkson, they just get busy, man. Now, Chuck Robinson, the guy that came out of Kansas with all the promise about 5-6 years ago, bounced around the league, can't stay with one team, never reached his potential, never even showed a glimpse of his promise. All of a sudden has found his way into the rotation of the Lakers and is making the most of it, man. Yo, this Laker team continues to amaze me night after night after night. Just as they took those back-to-back losses to Golden State, and they were bad losses, you think it'd get in their head? Nah, they get right back on the track. They still flirting with the playoffs, whether it's the 8th seed or the 9th seed, because it seemed like them in Portland is always flip-flopping. But the point is that this team is well coached and well prepared. And I believe Luke is getting maximum effort from everybody out there. And I'm telling you, man, the Lakers is a fun team to watch. Excuse me. They're a team to pay attention to. Are they going to win a championship this year, next year? No. But are they a team that will be on a rise and a playoff team? I say yes, man. I say yes. Yeah, listen, man, I grew up in the projects. I had to deal with a roach here and there. Yeah, if you don't stomp that roach out the first time, you find yourself tap dancing trying to get that roach, man. And, and that's how the Lakers are, man. If you don't stomp them out right now, they're going to be around. And you're going to be tap dancing to try to put them out. And guess what? They're going to get away. They're well coached. They're well prepared. And right now, Luke is getting maximum effort from everybody that steps on that court, man. And it's great to see, man. I can't say enough about the Lakers. They've already surprised my expectations on them. I thought a 30-win to 35-win season would have been a great job by Luke. They're on the verge of winning 40 games and possibly making the playoffs. Just tremendous. And they're doing this without their point guard, possibly their best player, and Russell. They have Jose Calderon starting. Let me repeat that again. Jose Calderon is their starting point guard, who's probably the worst starting point guard in all of basketball. They're winning at home, winning on the road. Just phenomenal. Got to win against Golden State. Although they lost the last two against them, but how many teams can say they beat Golden State other than San Antonio? By the way, Golden State's on a 12-game winning streak since that loss to the Lakers. Phenomenal job by the Lakers, man. Cannot say enough about what the Lakers are doing, man. Just a great job. We're going to move on to my team, the New York Knicks. Man, I'm going to tell you something, man. I'll take an ugly win over a beautiful loss any day of the week. Any night of the week. Although we pulled away with the win, there was two bright spots all in all, but there's some issues there. But I want to talk about Minnesota first. What a performance by Karl Anthony Towns. If this is a glimpse of what we're going to see in the future, well, hold on, strap up, because we're in for a treat. This young man put up a career-high 47 points last night along with 18 rebounds, man. He was just a handful. When I say a handful, he was just a handful. It didn't matter who the Knicks put on him. It was just a handful. It was his night, and he had a great night. And kudos to him, man. And you know what, man? I actually thought Minnesota would be where the Lakers are right now. They're 5-13. There's too much talent on that team over there, man. I'm beginning to question. I might stand alone and be of the minority with this, man. I don't know if Tibbs is the coach for this team, man. I think Tibbs need veterans. I don't think he can work with these youngsters, man. There's too much talent over there, man. Ricky Rubio, who I think could be their Achilles heel because he don't put enough pressure by scoring. But with him being a pass-first point guard that he is, there's so much talent over there that would love the receiver pass, whether it's Karl Anthony Towns, Wiggins, or maybe even Zach LaVine. But they got to do something there, man, because they're getting lost in the mix. I'm afraid that Tibbs, and remember, he's also president of operation, he might get impatient and decide to trade a youngster for a quality veteran, man. And I'm going to tell you, man, there's a few out there. I don't know if you can trade between these four people, trade two of them, possibly three of them, or two of them in a draft pick between LaVine, Muhammad, Rubio, Dunn, You take any two of them and add a draft pick to it. Could that pry away Millsap, who's in his final year of a contract? That's something to think about. Millsap alongside of Karl Anthony Towns, a veteran, might just be what Minnesota's looking for. Might be just what they're looking for. I'm not making any suggestions, but I'm just throwing something out there. But getting back to my Knicks, the bright spot of this was Porzingis. Although he got outshined by Karl Anthony Towns, he had 29 points of his own. Inside game, running the floor, three-pointers. He's becoming more and more confident. His game is evolving more and more. I like what I see. As long as he stays out of foul trouble, this guy can be a force. Really a force. Brandon Jennings continue to be a bright spot coming off the bench, leading that second unit. Hey, he played the majority of the fourth quarter down the stretch as D-Rose sat. All right? Hopefully Courtney Lee's injury is not that serious. He left the game with a sprained ankle. Hopefully he'll be back soon for the next game, which is tomorrow night. But the other bright spot I want to say, although he had a bad night shooting, man, anytime we can watch Carmelo Anthony hit the game-winning shot, because again, over the last couple of seasons, he hasn't been able to do too many of those because of fatigue sinking in. But to watch him put away one of those shots last night to win the game, man, was truly a blessing. Truly a blessing. And he did it the right way. And then on top of that, came back down on the other end and guarded the inbound pass and deflected it. When do we see that? From really anybody, but more so Carmelo? Man. So he sealed the deal on both sides of the court, on both ends of the court, I should say. What a closeout for Carmelo. And again, it is a bright spot to watch him drain the game-winning shot with 2.3 seconds to go after the Knicks squandered a 17-point lead and allowed Minnesota to go on a 20-3 run to tie the game before that shot. If there is something that I have to be concerned with once again, is the defense, man. It is the defense. Where are the big boys? I'm going to tell you something. I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe they don't dress the door. But I think Plumlee needs to be on the roster, man. If it ain't but just to give 6 fouls. If you look back on the OKC game, Adams and Kantner, they ate us up inside. Karl Anthony Towns ate us up inside last night. Maybe Plumlee is the guy that can go in there and be the bruiser, give a few hard fouls, because Kyle O'Quinn is a bruiser, but he's not tall enough. You know, he's strong enough, but he's just not tall enough. Plumlee could be that guy, man, that could just, make his presence felt for a couple of minutes in the game. I like to see him get a little bit more action. And the door, we barely play him anyway. I would dress Plumlee, By the way, Noah, he misses another game due to an ankle injury. Listen, I'm not giving up on Noah. Many people in the NBA world believes that that's a bad signing. And you know what? They just might be right. But you know what? Let's see what happens, man. Let it play out. He's got to get himself back in the game shape, And then before I close out, I want to talk about Atlanta Hawks team in my backyard, man. This is a team that came out the gate 11-2. Had a good quality win against Cleveland, I believe it was. 11-2. Since that time, they weren't 11-2. They were 9-2. And since that time, they're 1-7. There's something missing there. Something is not right. I don't think they're as good as they were, but when you come out the gate at 9-2, you get excited. Are they fool's gold? Are they going to stick around? I don't think they make the top 8. I think what we've seen in the last 8 games is really what they are. They're probably a 500 team at best, which could get them in the playoffs. But if they're just a game or two less than 500, they're going to fall short. I see them being a 9th, 10th seed in the East. I don't see them making the playoff. They're going to have to make some decisions and some decisions quick. Are they going to be buyers at the trading deadline, or are they going to be sellers? Because if they think they're in it, then they need to acquire some wing help. If they think that they're not going to be in it and risk the a possibility of Millsap not re-signing, then they may need to be sellers. And I tell you what, man, we'll get a better feel for this Hawks team at the end of December, right around Christmas, because after Christmas, usually that's when the trade talk starts to heat up. But we'll get a good feel for them because this one doesn't look good for the Atlanta Hawks right now. They look like they've lost their way. So, listen, I'm going to close with that. But before I go, first of all, I want to thank my guest, DMT, for calling in, explaining who he is and what he got to offer. I advise you to check him out, man. He's got a lot of talent, man. I'm not saying that because he's a friend, but I'm saying that because he really has some talent. And I want to thank my man Joe McDouzian for commenting, tuning in all the way from the UK, and of course my sister for tuning in as well. And I got one more comment, man, and this is my man Eddie Ness. Grew up with him. He talks to me to talk about the state of the New York Jets just in the season. That's what it is, man. Listen, I haven't mentioned the Jets in a while, man. My thing is this. If you can tank. You know what I mean? Just keep tanking. Put yourself in a position to get for that out of LSU to running back or something like that, man, because right now at 3-8, it don't look good, man. I mean, if you try to win, you're just playing for Todd Bowles' job. At this point here, I say, yeah, you can't make the playoffs. There's no need to try to get into the playoff races. Hey, set yourself up for April when the draft comes around, or May when the draft comes around, and just put yourself in a position where you can get 2 early picks, one early pick in the first round, an early pick in the second round. I was looking at a mock draft, and they had the Jets set up similar to what happened with Dallas Cowboys. They had them set up in the first round, picking number 5, getting the running back for that out of LSU. And then they had him picking number 5 in the second round, getting Deshaun Watson out of Clemson. Yeah, that's shades of Elliott and Prescott. I'm okay with that. Keep losing. I really am. I'm okay with that. Keep losing because we have to look to the future. I like Forte, but we just have to keep looking for the future. There's some quarterbacks coming out in college football. I don't know who they are. To the mock draft I looked at, they were saying that the quarterback out of North Carolina is going to be the first pick. And then there's a quarterback out of Notre Dame. Man, personally, all I know is Deshaun Watson and the kid out of Louisville, Lamar Jackson, but he's not available until next year, eligible for the draft till next year. But what I'm saying to you is this, man. If you have a chance to get Fournette in the first round and Deshaun Watson in the second round, don't mess that up, New York. Don't mess that up by trying to win the last 5 games. Don't. Because it's time to build. So many people laughed at the Dallas Cowboys when they was taking offensive linemen in the draft for like 3 or 4 years in a row. Well, look how that panned out. Sometimes you got to rebuild and not always try to get the big names or whatever. I mean, a good friend of mine by the name of Jehudi, he always say that, man. Sometimes you got to build a team, smart through drafts and so forth. You just don't go for the big names, man. In this case here for the Jets, take the time out, man, and just go through the draft at this point. Build through the draft. Because think about it. Buffalo's ahead of you. Miami, all of a sudden, they're a good team. They're on the verge of making this playoff race in the East interesting because as we speak right now, they're the number 2 wild card team. And Tom Brady don't look like he's getting any older. Could he possibly be the Bernard Hopkins or the George Foremans of the football world? This guy looks like he could play to 50. He's not getting any older, it seems like. So the Jets need to just build through the draft. Needs to build through the draft. I got a text here. Let me respond to the text. I'm about to close the show, but I got some people that still possibly wanna call in. Yeah, I'm still on. If you got time, call in. But yeah, the Jets just need to build through the draft. That's as simple as that, man. They can't win for years. Oh, Eddie's switching it up on me. He's talking about, do I think it's time for Melo to go? No way. Listen, the problem Melo has is that he's not athletic, man. He's a throwback player. He plays like Bernard King. He takes a lot of pressure off of Porzingis. If Melo wasn't there, Porzingis would look like Karl Anthony Towns. A lot of points, no wins. So I say no. Keep Melo there. And besides this, Melo wants to be there. Whether it's for the money, business, he likes the attention, or he wants to be there when the Knicks do win. Yeah, but he wants to be there. Why get rid of him? Why? Why get rid of him? I say, hold on. My man Joe McDouzie, he's back. He's asking, is the Falcons D going to be hurt with True Front out for the year? Listen, I don't think one... Oh, we got a caller. I'll get back to that point, Joe. We got a call on the air. Who's calling?
Hey, what's going on?
Who's this?
It's Ramel, man.
Hey, Ramel, where you from, Ramel? Tell us where you from.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn in the house. All right. So you got a question for me?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
I want to know what you think about Bradley Beal and John Wall in Washington. Because right now they're looking like they're not going to make the playoffs, and they're looking real promising.
You know,
2 seasons ago when they swept.
You know what's funny about that, Romel? It was a couple of seasons ago. I'm gonna say about 2, maybe 3 seasons ago. Bradley Beal and John Wall was boasting about them being the top backcourt in the game, and ever since that comment, they went downhill. I think the worst thing that ever happened to those two was that Sam Cassell was let go off the bench over there. I thought he was a big part of their maturation and their growth. And when he was let go, they went down. Yeah, a couple of injuries here and there. I think they're a talented pair. I think that, Bradley Beal could someday be one of the top 5 2 guards in the game. John Wall is clearly a top 10, top 7 point guard in the game. But I'm going to throw a curveball at you. I think John Wall gets traded. I think he gets traded. Where he goes, I don't know, but I think he gets traded. And I think that might be the best thing because they have some friction about it between the two of them. I don't know all the ins and outs, but sources says there's some friction. But I think he gets traded.
Okay. I think he wants to go play with Boogie again. And DeMarcus Cousins wants to link up somehow. He may go to the Kings, but I do think it's time for them to make that up in Washington.
If there's rumblings out there that he wants to play with Boogie Cousins in Sacramento, Sacramento needs to get on the horn and find a way to make that happen. Plain and simple. Mm-hmm. They haven't had a star point guard over there on a consistent basis with Boogie Cousins, and the best they had was Rondo for 1 season. And if they don't make a move, something like that or similar, then Boogie's going to bounce after next season when his contract is up. So they need to find a way to make that happen.
Okay.
All right? Well,
that'll be the best move. I appreciate it, man.
All right. Appreciate you calling up, man. Don't be a stranger. Hey, that's Ramel from Brooklyn, New York, now residing in Georgia. Hey, thanks for the call, and don't be a stranger.
Anytime. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right.
And there you go. That was Ramel with a good question. Well, that Washington team, man, they got a little something there, but I have a strange feeling that John Wall is going to be traded because of the friction that's going on. And that's a shame because that's a talented pair, man. John Wall could play for me in New York. I'll take him over Derrick Rose any day, man. The guy puts pressure on you, man. He does a lot of things. But getting back to Joe McDouzian about the Falcons D. Listen, the best way to help the Falcons D is for Atlanta Falcons offense to run the ball more. Listen, they got one of the best offenses out there. Don't get me wrong. But their passing attack is where they go most of the time. And a lot of times, it causes them to get off the field earlier. But if they can run the ball and have some clock, manage the clock or win the time of possession, I should say, that will help the defense. But losing Trufant, it is going to hurt them. But I think they can cover up for him. But the key is going to be what the offense do, man. You look at the Dallas Cowboys, their defense is probably no better than Atlanta's defense. But because of ball control, they stay fresh and you get better results from them. So I just think that's what they need to do. Is just try to run the ball a little bit, man. Eat up some of the clock. Let the defense rest a little bit. So listen, man. Hey, I appreciate Joe McDouzian, my sister, my man Eddie Ness, Ramel, and especially my man DMT for calling up and you guys tuning in and sending me comments, man. This has been a fun show, man. Probably one of the longest I've had since I've been doing these shows. Man, yeah, just keep tuning in. This is fun for me, man. So, God bless everybody, man. I'll see you guys in 24. Remember, chopping it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Peace out.